Part 4 of the side objective. The wife's part. H has painted a skewed picture of reality. He still loves me, or how we still make love often and cry together, or how he holds me close with such love for me even still. He also hasn't told you the truth about my loneliness in our marriage and how he consistently chose other things over me. I came to him many times over the years with tears in my eyes, asking him if we could talk and pouring my heart out to him about the sadness, loneliness, and disconnect I was feeling from him because he made me feel like I was not important to him. I would ask to be held and he would make every excuse why he couldn't or wouldn't. He was too tired, he was too hot, my hair was in his face, etc. I would ask to spend time with him and he would instead spend hours on the computer playing video games instead of investing in our marriage. Then he'd finally agree to watch something on Netflix with me, only to fall asleep within the first 25 to 30 minutes because he'd spent all of his awake time playing video games. I gave him my all and he gave me what was left of him at the end of the day, crumbs. I needed my husband. I needed to feel valued by him and that I mattered to him and that I was his treasure. He was not complimentary and very rarely said anything to me to boost my confidence. In fact, the last time he told me I was beautiful was in 2012. I remember it because it had been a long time since he'd said it before, and when he finally said it, it meant so much to me. Funny how he told all of you on here that I was beautiful, but he could never tell me that. I did everything I could to try to grasp his attention and heart. He blocked it and had a wall up that I could never penetrate. I was, and still am, so much in love with him, but he made me feel like he hated me. I would try to talk to him about my busy day caring for our home and our kids, and he would get visibly irritated by me, like I was a nuisance, and say, "Okay, bottom line, please Jesus." I felt like he didn't care about any part of me at all. Not my heart, not my life, and certainly not our marriage. If I was his soulmate like he always said I was, why did he not invest in our relationship? Why didn't he live in the moment with me? My days consisted of taking care of our precious babies, cleaning nonstop, and me counting down the hours until my overworked husband came home. He was my joy and my delight, the one I lived my life for, the one I loved no matter what. Good moods, bad moods, terrible moods. I still loved him and drew near to him. Most days I felt like I was walking around on eggshells around him because he was so up and down for years, since taking an ADD medication that he will never admit altered his personality. But it did, and even our children felt the same way. His responses to us were sharp and abrupt. If he was in a good mood, we held our breath hoping it would last. I know he loved me, and still does, but he has been so emotionally detached from me that it has caused me to feel like I am simply not enough for him. That I wasn't of any value to him except for to keep the house clean, his clothes washed, and the occasional times of intimacy, which were only on his terms and when he wanted it, which were few. I initiated it all the time and was shot down all the time too. That is no excuse for my affair. I own my mistakes 100%. I am living with the consequences of my mistakes every single day in the saddest way because he has left me and we are separated. My heart is shredded because I am losing the love of my life. I have hurt the one person I adored more than anyone or anything, and I would do anything and everything and would move heaven and earth to be given a chance to make things right. I am doing everything I can to prove myself to him through my actions. This hurts so much. Then to read people on here that don't know the slightest thing about me or even him, just saying divorce her really hurts. Yes, I messed up miserably and I am the first to admit that. But what he's not telling you is how broken and remorseful I am over all of it, or how I'm wanting so desperately to save our marriage and our sweet little family. How I want us both to get help individually and together. He shoots down together even now. Just breaks my heart. We have too much invested in each other and in our lives to throw in the towel. He is living like he's single now too, and it's killing me. He never cared much about his appearance before, although he is a HOTTIE, but suddenly he is shaving his head and face often when he would look scruffy most days before. He's wearing new clothes and shoes, has shaved his chest and is down their region, and as of yesterday, I noticed he has taken off his wedding ring even though he assured me he is living still as though he's married. I am lost and confused and want my husband back. I am not a bad person by any means, and he knows that too. His ego is being stroked by all of you that make reconciliation sound weak. It takes a stronger, more courageous man to forgive and choose to love and to save a marriage and a family that can be saved. I do not believe he ever actually cheated on me though. He was absent and disconnected, yes, but a terrible husband. No, he loves to cook and would cook grandiose meals at least once a week, something he enjoyed doing. He worked a ton of hours a week, 65 plus hours. Is the boss though and can make his own schedule. Here's the thing, he loves me. I know that. He just has trouble expressing it. Lately, he ignores me, because people here have encouraged that, as has his therapist, which probably isn't getting the full picture either, or makes me feel even further rejected. I failed him with my affair and deception. I own that and I understand his hurt, and I cry every single day because of the hurt I have caused him. He knows my heart more than anyone. He knows I'm remorseful and willing to change. I'm in therapy too, and be safe for him. I want to prove to him that he can be safe with me again. My heart is bleeding. I pray literally all day long for God to bring us back together whole and well. Yes, he's in therapy too, but from what he's posted on here, it's all about divorcing me and moving on away from me. Said, my affair turned physical in nature 2 times. I did not ever have actual slept with him. I never even kissed the guy, but there was physical contact twice. He gave me his word that if I would come clean, which I truly did, we would reconcile. He did not keep his word and instead blasted my confession to everyone here to pick apart and dissect. My confession was and is completely true without any omissions or withheld information. I gave him the full extent of it all. I have begged him to let me take a polygraph to prove I'm not lying, but he refuses. Why? I have nothing to hide. Comment. Of course, all of the stories on here have 2 sides. However, what on earth made you think that considering the difficulties in your marriage relationship that having affairs would somehow make it less bad than it was? I just don't get it. Of course, you are suffering now. Actions of this sort have consequences and you have to be able to accept what those consequences are. Better you let your H be and work on yourself. Your H needs to work on himself too. If you ever get the gift of reconciliation, then bully for you, but quite frankly your sob story doesn't move me. There is absolutely no excuse for cheating. I don't care what story you put up here. Your H may have ADHD problems, but you have an even worse problem. A character flaw, which is worse. If your H is not meeting your needs, then leave, but do not cheat. Furthermore, the man works 65 hours a week and cooks. You sound like a special snowflake. OP responds, there were 2. 1 EA, 1 P. I'm not proud of that at all. You do not know the emptiness I was experiencing though during that time. My husband has a personality shift from day to day. You never know if you'll be greeted with a happy man that is sweet or a man that treats his wife and family like nuisances in his life. That is not an excuse by any means for what I did. I shouldn't have stooped to that and I take full responsibility for all of it. I have come clean with full disclosure. I have eliminated every form of contact including deleting social media sites. I've given my husband full access to my email account, iCloud account and anything else he needed. I have apologized and I am sick over the pain I've caused him and our family. Even as family, I am in therapy to get well and I'm actively fighting for my marriage. I want nothing more. I love my husband so much. We have a once-in-a-lifetime love. I am flawed, yes. I need help, yes. I am not shirking any of that off of myself by any means. I am hurting. He is hurting. We still have much to fight for though. You do not know us. You do not know me or him. I am not asking for sympathy at all. I don't deserve that. I told him that I deserve all of this. I accept the consequences of my actions. It is so painful. I'm now on meds to just cope through the days and nights. Something I've never had to do before. I've lost 15 pounds because I cannot eat and I do not sleep. I'm a broken mess that is repentant and grieved deeply by what my choices have caused. I do love my husband more than anyone on the planet. He knows that too. He loves me as well. We can survive this and thrive if he would just allow it and be open to help for us. Clearly, he and I spoke 2 different love languages. There is nothing that is not repairable though. With help, we can succeed together and save our marriage and our family from more destruction. I truly do not blame him at all. I chose what I chose independent of him. Regardless of how I felt he should have treated me, I disrespected him. I lied to him. I broke his trust. I did not appreciate what we did have and focused on what we didn't have. I was so wrong. I disregarded him and betrayed his trust in me, and for that I am so deeply sorry for. I cannot change my past, but I can choose to change my future and to do everything in my power to get healthy for me and our babies and to be the wife he deserves. I will not give up. The intense desire to fix this is because both of us know what we still have together. Both of us know if we divorced, we would continue to love and miss each other even apart. It may sound straight up cheesy, but we both believe we were made for each other. We should have married each other when we were younger before we ended up marrying others. Things would have been so very different. Can't change that though. We cannot change our pasts. We can choose to pick up the broken pieces and love each other through this until we are safely on the other side though. We can choose to fight for each other and for our family. What a difference thinking positively could do for him. Not rose-colored glasses, but allowing himself to think about hope and redemption versus death and divorce. The pain will not stop there. It will increase. We can find healing individually and together and go on to live fulfilling lives with each other. We can hit the reset button and both choose better and be better for ourselves and each other. It's not uncommon for marriages that have been on the brink of death to get help and to be rescued and to go on to build a better marriage than they even had before. It takes work and time, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Wish he was too. I'm in therapy. I recognize an unhealthy pattern, coping mechanism that is destructive. Yes, I was raped as a young girl and was punished for allowing the guy, much older than me, to come over. I was not offered help or counseling or anything to get well as a 13-year-old girl. Instead, I was shamed by my parents, mainly my overbearing mom. My therapist and I are digging into all of this and attacking my root problems and plucking them out so that I never return to that person again and have the skills to not fall into those patterns again. I sought help on my own because I want to change for good. Coming from the ministry family I grew up in, we closeted everything. We could never appear broken or that we didn't have it all together. I learned that behavior and learned that we do not get help because what would people think. So, for me to be in therapy now of my own choosing is actually a big step for me in itself. Sadly, my sweet daddy needed help too but was too ashamed to seek it and ended his own life 5 years ago. I am fighting for my marriage because no matter what, I still love my husband. You don't just stop loving someone when they hurt or disappoint you. I have loved him since I was 17 years old. We have a rich history of love together. We have had plenty of wonderful times together too. Prior to us living here, we lived in San Antonio and we were blissfully happy together. We were crazy about each other. When we moved here, he started working more hours which required him to be put on meds to focus. This medicine truly changed my sweet and tender heart husband. I watched him change and it's been said. He doesn't see it, but he once was a fun-loving, happy guy that actually adored me and I knew it. We looked forward to spending time together. I still love him though. I know the real him and I love him so much. I cannot just give up on him and on us. I am not blaming him at all. I chose this. It was my choice and I failed miserably. I simply shared my side because the picture painted of me had been off. I realize anyone can jump online on a forum and be someone that they're really not and only say what they deem necessary. I've been there so I get it. I have blatantly expressed my deep remorse for hurting him. When I weep every day, it is for him. Because I have hurt the one person I loved more than anyone. I destroyed him and my actions have caused him to lose so much. It makes me physically sick even. I empathize with him and his deep pain. When we are together, I see the hurt in his beautiful blue eyes and it breaks me. I told him that the wages of sin are death and so anything he does to me short of death is still mercy. I cannot believe I have hurt this man. No matter what, he never deserved this. He trusted me and I shattered that. He believed in me and I abused that. I want to make amends and make it right before God and before my love. I understand many on here are wounded as well and are in a protective attack mode and I do understand that. However, not every situation is the same and sometimes there are people that are greatly remorseful, own their actions, and want to make amends and restore a broken relationship and want to let God be the center of their marriage. Something we never had because of guilt from how our marriage started. Sometimes people do have a huge come to themselves moment and recognize the deep issues in their lives and seek help for it to not make the mistakes again. Ever. This entire experience has shaken me, made me wake up to reality and to what a mess I had become. My husband is a good man with a good heart. He is loyal and the love of my life. We are not past the point of rescue. We have much still to fight for, more than even what's been expressed by either of us here. But whatever, I was not involved in ministry or worship at the time of my affair. I was in a secular country western band. I will fight for my husband and my marriage because I know we can make it through this. We can come out on the other side better together. Yes, X I gave was the worst of what happened, 2 times. I have told my husband everything and held back nothing. I wanted to be completely transparent with him when he asked for it. I knew the truth would set us free and help us heal and begin the repair and work necessary to heal our marriage. In fact, he gave me his word that if I came clean, he would forgive me and we would get help and work through this. I knew it was my only chance and so I let it all out. Some very embarrassingly graphic information that I'm so ashamed of, but I didn't want to keep a single thing from my husband any longer. He couldn't understand how it never progressed to more than X, but it didn't. I hate this and it's embarrassing in itself, but the guy reached orgasm very quickly and then it was over. It was not a long, drawn-out, sensual experience by any means. It was an act, period. It was a rush for me of course because I wowed the guy, but I felt such sickening guilt immediately. His affair was not typical at all. It was more like an arrangement so to speak. He would give me the affirmation I so desperately sought from my husband and when he asked me for sexual favors, I complied because I didn't want the affirmation to stop. I liked the attention. I liked hearing I was beautiful and desirable. Things my husband didn't make me feel. That's not an excuse for what I did. I own it all. I allowed myself and gave myself permission to interact with this guy. Then I lied and covered it up to protect my own tail at my husband's expense. I failed miserably. My husband has been distant with me for many, many years. I cannot tell you how many nights I have silently cried myself to sleep because of his rejection towards me. I'm sure he didn't think it was a problem, but I did approach him with my insecurities and fears many times only for him to dismiss it or get angry that I didn't understand he was just tired. I would say, I'm tired too. I've chased 4 kids all day long and scrubbed sticky spots off the floor all day long and washed mounds of laundry and changed diapers, etc. But I still long to be near you and to spend time with you. Anyway, I admit 100% to what I did do. It never went further than X. I've begged my husband for a polygraph to prove to him I am not lying and cannot understand why he is opposed to it unless he's just afraid of being wrong. I don't know. My utmost desire is to get well and for our marriage to be restored. I have humbled myself before God and allowed him to wreck me in this and to reveal and bring all of the darkness into light. Name redacted, and I truly love each other deeply. Giving up on our marriage and on our family does not seem right. He has grounds to divorce me, he does. However, he has a repentant and remorseful wife that is willing to do whatever it takes to make things right, willing to do the heavy lifting and willing to help him heal. Farside, I will do anything. Please know that I truly love this man. All of him, flaws and all, quirks and analytical madness and all. He's mine and I adore him. I always have. Just ask him, he will tell you. I've made mistakes, but I have been a good wife to him and have loved him to the fullest every day of our marriage. Intentional, purposeful love. I have no defense for my actions. I chose this. My husband is deeply hurting and it's all because of me. I hate the pain he endures daily, the anger and the confusion, because of my selfishness. Why did I think my needs for affirmation and acceptance were more important than my marriage? I was so wrong and so blatantly selfish. It's the twisted mind of an unfaithful. Of me. Reality escaped me and I escaped into a false reality of flattery, trading safety and true love and a special bond for a rush, a temporary high, a moment. All the while knowing it's not real. I have come to terms in therapy with my whys and hows. I am learning how to heal from a myriad of shame from my childhood on, and I'm learning new behaviors that are changing my low self-esteem and the basis of my insecurities. The root of it all is being plucked out. I don't want to be this person. I want to be better. I do not deserve another chance with my sweet H, but I still will fight for him and for our marriage. I have owned up to my mistakes all the way. There are no excuses. I wronged him. I hurt him. I failed him. He trusted me and I slaughtered that. He is reeling in horrid pain because his soulmate broke his heart. I hate it. I hate the part of me that allowed myself and gave myself permission to act out. If we could sit down with a counselor, my husband would begin to see that I take full responsibility for all of it. There is never a valid excuse for infidelity. I'm deeply sorry for hurting my baby. I want to be able to make it right. That's all. Finding others will not make it right. Wherever you go, there you are. Why not fight for what we already have, knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses? What harm or damage could come from us both truly trying? He has never been the problem. In fact, I viewed him as my world, not a problem. My own insecurities are the problem and I'm actively working on that. My therapist is really great, and although at times I hate what he says, it's blunt and honest and he is helping me. I want to return to my husband whole and well. A woman of integrity and honor that honors him and our marriage. Has anyone on here ever made mistakes they were sick over? Mistakes that hurt people they loved? People make mistakes. Good people make horrible choices that hurt others. I have a pattern of poor choices that stem from my own issues of shame as a young girl, low self-esteem and feelings of not being enough, all rooted in childhood. I am not a bad person though. My husband knows I am not. I'm actually very loving, nurturing, thoughtful, kind, generous, patient, positive, encouraging and genuinely sweet. It's who I am. I have a hard time sticking up for myself. I'm terrified of confrontation and I let people walk all over me, not my husband, BTW, because I don't have the confidence to take a stand. I have never believed I'm enough for my husband, in my own mind, and have tried to shake that for a long time. I'm not the only failure in the world, and I'm also not a DOA case that is incapable of finding appropriate help and making positive, lasting changes. I do have a great support system. My very best friend speaks harshly to me often and keeps me in check. No one is just telling me what I want to hear. However, people from all over are praying that we find our way back to each other. I am under the impression that he already tracks my every move and I'm perfectly fine with that. He has bugged my phone or my house or car or something too. I'm even okay with that. Find my iPhone is always on as well. I am committed to being an open book with him. I did go to his mom early on and ask for forgiveness. She said it was too soon. I actually went to his dad a week ago and humbly asked if we could talk, and he was very stern with me, said no and that he did not want to talk to me and shut the door in my face, leaving me sobbing on the other side of the door. That was hard. In fact, I lost it for a good bit after that. Secondly, the emotional detachment truly set in when he began taking meds several years ago. Before the affairs, he lost his vibrancy and his spunk for life. He became a shell of the man I'd loved. His mood swings became hard to handle and unpredictable. He lost his tender heart and became cold towards others. Not just me either. Our kids, his own family, etc. There was a marked change in him because of the meds. You can ask him too. I asked him several times to get off of it or to find something else. For a short time, he did. He was off and on a new medicine. He was truly like a different man. He was jovial once again. He was playful and fun with me and the kids. He was romantic and spontaneous, and he hugged me and flirted with me even. I even told my friends how happy we were. Then he went back on meds because he said the other medicine wasn't helping him at work. I watched him struggle and tried to play it off. I was protecting my own tail. I said that I was selfish. I was. That entire time I was living in a sick world that I had entered willingly. I became someone I wasn't. I behaved in ways I wouldn't have normally. I dressed completely different. I acted different. I was so caught up in a country superstar world that I lost sight of my real world. The one that mattered. I was once again, you guessed it, looking for acceptance in that world. But whatever, I quit the band just a few days after discovery. I was so twisted and blinded by my own selfishness that I blew off my sweet husband's suffering. Many times, I felt such urgency to come clean, but fear kept me from it. I was a coward. And yes, they're mistakes, transgressions, iniquities, sins. I am not downplaying anything by using the word mistake. And another thing, I have admitted all of this to my bandmates that I had believing he was just going crazy. I took the fall for all of that. I defended him and set the record straight. I want to make amends for my choices and my actions. I will do anything. I mean that. I am the one who has failed. I do love him and want our marriage to work. With help we can start again. I am nowhere near a perfect mate. Yikes, not even close. There are two people that still love each other here that are both hurting and both need healing. I weep reading these responses from strangers that do not know either of us. I hurt for him as well. He is hurting. He is confused. He is broken. He is still so sweet to me even in this. Yes, he has moments of anger where he lashes out and I deserve that. Other times, he is very sweet and holds me tenderly and allows us to mourn together. I am aware of his plans to continue to seek divorce at this time. That breaks my heart, but I deserve that. Hopefully in time, we can begin again though. Both of us with a fresh start. I can hang on to hope and I will. No matter how grim it looks, no matter how ugly responses get, no matter anything. I will hold on to hope. That is my choice. My therapist is fully on board with helping me root out my issues and not by focusing on anything about my husband. I do share with him how my husband ignores me now and how he tells me we are going to meet to talk and then postpones it and how I crumble each time. He knows I long to talk to him and long to hear him and hear his heart. My therapist keeps reminding me that he has his own free will choice that is outside of my control. Even if it hurts me, it's his choice. Talk about humble pie. I cannot make him take me back. I can only work on me and hope that the changes in my life will be fruit of the change in my heart and mind and that he will see it. I didn't tell the truth because I was afraid. There's no more to it than that. Keeping secrets is scary. Letting them out, even scarier. I was a coward. I didn't want to hurt him and I knew it would. I wanted to keep it all hidden. Not good, I know, but honest. It wasn't a vindictive or spiteful move. I was a coward and scared of the consequences of hurting him. Sucks, but is true. I meant to say is that I know he is tracking me and I don't mind because I am hiding absolutely nothing from him. I want him to feel safe with me and know I'm not up to funny business. I'm not sure I understand the GPS tracking device. I'm certainly not opposed to anything of that nature. I guess I don't understand how it works is what I'm saying. I would install it and the data would go to him, yes. How do I set that up? Also, no, I went to his mom on my own early on. I wanted to apologize for hurting our whole family and for hurting their son. It was hard, but I felt compelled to do the right thing. If he had been there, he's staying there, I certainly would have talked to her with him present. I still would love to speak to them with him. I really want to. They are my family too and I love them as well. We are each working on ourselves. Time will tell. I will prove to them that I am committed to him, to his recovery and healing and to my personal recovery and healing. Love can still win. I am broken. I am hurting deeply for my sweetheart. I want to make it all better. I want to love him and wipe his tears away. I am hurting too. Nobody sets out to hurt people. Nobody wakes up one day and says, hey, today I think I'll ruin my marriage. I never thought I'd do this to him. He was my special one. Still is. No need to say how could he be. You do not understand us. That's okay. I don't expect you to. He does believe me and sees me as remorseful. He sees me in person and has told me he believed me. He's been very gentle and kind to me when we are alone together. He still loves me and it shows. There's nothing wrong with believing for a miracle for us and for holding on to hope that in time we will find our way back to each other. My comment, you 100% sound like you are justifying the affair even if you say you are not. You need to focus on your problems, how you cope with marital issues. You run off and give blowjobs to younger attractive men. That is a fact. You have done this before, more than once. That is a fact. The problems with H, that is your opinion. H's problems with you, that is his opinion. Husband is being given advice as a result of your affair, not the state of your marriage. You need to stop talking about what was wrong with your marriage and focus on never using X or anything like that with other men as a coping mechanism. And you have to demonstrate true remorse in actions, not explaining how bad your marriage was and what led you to cheat. You say you own your affair on the one hand and then justify it on the other. I hope you understand that in your mind, deep down, the affairs were justified. You need to genuinely fix this, for yourself first and foremost. My comment, she tried to lessen the intensity of the affair by saying they never kissed. Are you joking? You never kissed because you asked OM to and he wouldn't do it because he didn't want to kiss you. This of course is after you kissed other places. This person is a real piece of work.